Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Masters Fantasy Show, brought to you by MastersFantasyFootballLeagues.com. As always, I'm joined by the Masters crew, Dynasty Owl, the Doc. What's up, guys?
What's up?
How we doing?
Not much, man. Ready to talk some Dynasty trades today. These are Dynasty trades that us, ourselves, guys, trades that we're currently making. Want to pass those along to you guys. Floor's all yours, whichever one of you guys want to go first.
So I could start actually. This isn't a trade that I've made, but it's one that I'm actively seeking on a regular basis. And it's a guy that we've talked about a little bit, a little older, so it might surprise in Dynasty. But Matthew Stafford's a guy that I don't know. Maybe I'm just buying the hype, but I mean I felt really good about him going forward. And as the weeks go on, and I hear McVay talk, and I hear the receivers talk, and I'm just so sold on Matthew Stafford, and I keep going back to the fact that he's never really had anything since Calvin Johnson. There's that big chip on his shoulder. I mean, this is his opportunity to cement his legacy, and I feel so good about him coming into this year. I'm gonna try in any league I have. I'm gonna try and get Matthew Stafford because I feel like, especially in Dynasty, I feel like this is a guy who legitimately can finish in the top 5, but I also feel like he's not going to carry a ton of value because he is older. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, this is a great opportunity to me. So I'm throwing second-round picks. I mean, I don't think I'd give a first, but a second round and, middle-of-the-road running back, receiver, something to toss in, should be more than enough. I mean, you might even be able to get it for just the pick. I don't even know. I mean, it depends how people value Stafford. But that's a guy that I'm really going after, and I'm trying to add him on any team I can because I feel like the value is just too good to pass up.
Yeah, I really like it. I was actually doing a little homework on Stafford for a trade that we had going on today. I think he's currently ranked, Dynasty League Football has him as the 17th ranked quarterback in Dynasty League Football, which, I mean, probably fits about right. But I think it's interesting for a guy that we all think could finish top 8 the next 3-4 years, ranked at number 17. I really like it, too. I actually had one question for you guys, and I don't know what Matthew Stafford's best finish has ever been. I feel like he's had a few, top 5 finishes, maybe, in his best years with Calvin Johnson. Any chance this is Matthew Stafford's best year ever?
I think there's a shot of it. I mean, I don't know the stats off the top of my head, what he did with Megatron, but this Rams offense, I'm just all in on all of it. I mean, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp. I even think Higbee's going to have a really good year. Yes. Cam Akers out of the backfield. And, yeah, I just think the Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford pairing's one that's just going to be electric. Love all the pieces in place and just super excited.
Yeah, I will say, too, it's exciting to hear, other pros, legit good quarterbacks. I've heard guys like Jay Cutler, and I think Aaron Rodgers, too, have mentioned, Stafford.
Most underrated quarterback.
Yeah, they all say it, and they're all, saying how exciting it is that he's got, this new system with all these weapons. I just think he's going to kill it this year. Yeah. And his value is not – I mean, it's not anywhere near where it should be, so it's a perfect opportunity.
And I'm with you. This is one of them things for me, too. Maybe the quarterback position's a little different because – longevity,
right?
But it's one of those situations where you can throw dynasty rankings out the window. To me, they got him at 17. I think he'll finish top 8 the next 3 years, and you can't predict the future after that. Right. Although at quarterback, most of them guys typically do stay around a little longer. Just seen it so often. I mean, really, all you can hope that you can predict is the next 3 years, and outside of that, I mean, look at Todd Gurley, look at Le'Veon Bell. Yeah. The list goes on and on.
Yeah.
I just thought of an NBA-type career comparison for Matthew Stafford. I'm thinking about Chris Paul. Just ultimately talented, but just never on a great team. Kind of wasted away most of his young career. But now, he's playing with the Suns. Hopefully going to get that championship ring this year. But, yeah, kind of what I'm thinking about Matthew Stafford. He gets to the Rams. They've got all these weapons. They've got a good defense, too. Maybe this is, he shines later in his career as the playmaking, distributing type quarterback.
Yeah.
So
Chris Paul's a dog. I'll toss up mine, and I don't know if this is something I've talked about before. I think I touched on it a little bit. This is a dynasty trade that I'm trying to make in every league. That's for me. It's finding the sweet spot for Trevor Lawrence. And I'm not sure exactly where you guys think Trevor Lawrence is going to go in the drafts. I could go back and watch the spotlight you guys did on it. But for me personally, I start to look at Lawrence anywhere after that 5 spot, depending on team needs. I do think the big 4, add Javonte. Then for me, I start to look at Lawrence, Waddle, any one of those guys. But what I'm doing is going around in my leagues, and I like to look, man, starting at the 6, 7 spot, going through the rosters. If I look at the guy with the 7th pick, the 8th pick, and they're strapped, got 2 quarterbacks, I kind of feel good, man. He's not going to take Lawrence there. I found some leagues we could get all the way to the 11, 12. I mean, wherever it is, man, find the sweet spot in your league where it looks like the guy's going to draft Trevor Lawrence, try to leapfrog him, getting right in front of him, get you an elite quarterback. Just something I'm doing. Find a sweet spot for Trevor Lawrence, man.
Yeah, I've never been one like super high on the idea of drafting rookie quarterbacks early in first rounds of rookie drafts. But honestly, I mean, we all have viewed Trevor Lawrence as this generational type prospect, and the fact that he's slipping to like the back half of the first round is crazy. Kyler Murray was the guy I felt comfortable taking like in the 1.4 his rookie year, and like I don't have any regrets on that. So if Trevor Lawrence makes it to the 1.5, 1.6, I don't think you're going to regret it because if Patrick Mahomes was in your rookie draft right now, he'd go at the 1.1 over those running backs. So if you think Trevor Lawrence can be that, then yeah, you're going to be happy wherever you get him. So I love the idea of finding that sweet spot because with this influx of quarterbacks, a lot of these guys, who have a young quarterback on the roster, they're not going to want Trevor Lawrence when they need a running back or need a receiver. So,
right. And these are one quarterback leagues too, so it does minimize the value. But my whole point is, I'm looking at some of these teams. Guys got the sixth pick, but he's also got Kyler Murray and Joe Burrow. And the seventh pick's got Russell Wilson and insert another young So I mean, I just think there's a sweet spot and an advantage there to get Trevor Lawrence on your dime. You can almost predict it if you look closely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that take a lot.
Yeah. All right, so I'm last here. I'm going to talk about a trade that I actually pulled the trigger on this week. I think, a lot of times, a lot of people think it's a bad trade for me because, first-round picks are coveted. We all love our first-rounders, and I dished away a future first, and I brought in two players who were a little disappointing last year, kind of a lot disappointing. But I think the key is they're still young. They still got plenty of upside. They're going to be in the league for a long time, and they've produced already, even though they disappointed last year. I got Juju Smith-Schuster and Michael Gallup for a future first. On top of that, I want to say my roster, I've got Kamara, Cam Akers, DK Metcalf, Tyreek Hill, Russell Wilson, George Kittle. So I feel like I've got a pretty loaded starting lineup. Should definitely be a playoff team, so I'm looking at that as a late first a year from now. And I'm bringing in a guy like Juju Smith-Schuster, and I was going back through ADP history. Dynasty ADP started up in 2019. This was after his, phenomenal sophomore season with AB on the other side. He was going off the board as Dynasty wide receiver 4. Then you fast forward at 1 year. AB leaves. He has a little disappointing year. Gets hurt a lot. He was still that next offseason. He was still going Dynasty wide receiver 9. Now this past year, disappointing year again, but he almost had 100 receptions still. Really wasn't that disappointing. And I guess he's going to drop down to like wide receiver 30, wide receiver 40, maybe even an ADP. Probably closer to wide receiver 30. But to me, it's just time to jump in on that. I mean, this kid's still 25 years old. He signed that 1-year deal in Pittsburgh. I still think he could catch 100 balls again this year. And then, we mentioned Kansas City being interested on. Same side, you flip over to Michael Gallup. I mean, another 25-year-old receiver who, yeah, he disappointed a little bit last year, but still has hit 1,000 yards so far already in his young career. He's playing in an offense that we think is going to be throwing all over the field, and he's also going to be a free agent. Imagine Michael Gallup in Kansas City a year from now. So if either one of these guys produce this year and/or lands in a good spot next offseason, I think I'm going to rather have one or both of them over the 1.10 a year from now. So,
yeah,
and I'm a big proponent of we're all trying to win our championship this year. That future first isn't gonna, if it's just sitting there, it's not gonna help you win it this year. So change it for a player, and then that offseason you can always trade away players to get picks if you want picks then.
Yeah, that was one of those trades that I saw come across like my email, and I was like, man, why didn't I make that trade?
Yeah.
Like it's a great opportunity to, like you said, get two guys on the buy low, and then it's most likely going to pay off. I would say for what you gave. Yeah. Not only can they produce for you this year, but they could also end up being a lot better down the road. So
right. And they easily could both play for 7 more years.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I like it. I'm actually even going to pump the brakes on you saying that they had bad seasons. I think that on paper, compared to what they had done in seasons before, I guess you could say they had bad seasons. I think both of them actually had good seasons, considering the other two wide receivers on that team.
I kind of said bad jokingly because, if I said, oh, he's going to catch 97 balls, go for just under 1,000, and have 6 TDs, you'd say, oh, that's a good season. Well, but you say, how'd Juju do last year? Oh, man, he sucked. No, he didn't. Yeah.
That's the thing. They're being perceived as having bad years, but they actually had solid years among, really good 3 receiver cores. It's not like it's just them and one other guy. They're both on maybe the two best trios.
Probably the two best. Yeah.
and they both still produce. So
Yeah.
I think that's a big plus
Right.
for
And
sure.
going forward, I mean, it's hard to imagine they stay on a team with that good
Exactly.
a
Yeah.
receiving
Right.
core. You just don't see that.
And
Definitely.
another thing with Gallup too, there's a really good chance that they get out from Amari's contract. We talked about it before. It's basically like a $20 million option every year, very little guaranteed money. So it could be Gallup and CD as the future, and like that's a really sweet duo in my opinion.
It is. I like that.
I like it. Good stuff, man. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this edition. Thanks for watching. If you could hit the like and subscribe button, come be a part of the Masters family. As always, any last words?
Thanks for listening.
Oh,
Thanks for listening.
yeah. Add in Jerry Jeudy and Joe Burrow. Those are two guys I also like. Go get them at all costs.
Oh, yeah, and just a side note on Joe Burrow, too. I thought, as I was giving that Trevor Lawrence take, I was looking. Yesterday, I was trying to go get Burrow in a league, and I had offered a guy, I think it was like the 2.4 and then a future 2, which I still like. I mean,
yeah.
But then, I was like, wait a minute, man. I went and looked at the 2020 league home to see where he drafted Burrow last year. Got him at 2.8.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, and I wanted to add a note, like, well, you got him at 2.8. Here's the 2.4 and the future 2. It's a ton of value last year on Burrow.
Definitely.
I think Lawrence could be the same this year.
Yeah.
Definitely,
I don't think he'll make it that far down, though. But
No.
Yeah.
all right, guys, thanks for watching.